morning. It's Sunday morning, and here we are with a Sunday thought. I'm not sure where you are, but where I am, it's hot. Poor plants outside have to be watered twice a day, and which I enjoy, but it's nice sitting into my patio where I'm sheltered from the hot sun. But even then, sometimes it gets too hot for me, a real sun bunny, or heat bunny, I should say, and I have to come inside where it's cooler. So today, I'm talking a little bit from a formula I made up some time ago called the sad, mad, helpless formula. And why that is because I found myself several times regretting a decision that I had made, probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. And regret and guilt are the two feelings I feel on the soul level that we really need to take care of so that when we actually go to leave our bodies, we're free to move into the light or into however you want to perceive that next stage. And the only thing I've ever found about guilt and regret to a large degree is forgiveness. But sometimes we have to also understand anger. And then it just so happened that I had a consultation where a person was speaking about how the person they live with was quite angry. So I thought, we haven't done this for a while, but it's a good time on this Sunday morning to take a look at what actually is anger. Now, anger, I've got my little sheet here actually, and it says an event occurs in your life which overwhelms you and you do not know what to do. There is usually one or two responses. When you are feeling either sad or mad, in other words, either depressed or angry about the situation, if you really go a little deeper by taking a breath, you will find you actually feel helpless. If you reach beneath the helpless feeling, you will feel unworthy of it being any different. And if you go beneath the unworthy, you will find the source energy, which is love. Now, by connecting to the universal source love energy, you recognize you're not unworthy, but in fact, you are worthy. By taking the away from unworthy, you will realize you're worthy, and therefore not helpless. And when you realize you're not helpless, you can then choose to make a different decision about the event and deal with it appropriately. You are in command of your life. And I've got at the bottom of my little sheet here, when you accept the situation 100%, you are free to make a different decision. But it needs to be accepted 100%. And that's the thing, because very often when we're upset about something, we don't really accept 100% that it can be different or it needs to be changed. Now, the interesting thing with anger, very often when we're in an anger situation, often what happens, because two kinds of anger, you're inside, which is yourself, but also outside. If the anger addressed as outside, it's because of not accepting responsibility of feeling helpless in the situation. On the other hand, anger held towards yourself is over responsibility of the situation and not accepting the feeling of helpless. Helpless is underlying a lot of our responses to life. Now, regret, which is what I was feeling, is sad over a previous decision, and you beat yourself up for it. There were many, many years when I was very good at doing that. I usually move through regret and guilt fairly easily and quickly. And this one has been hanging on a little bit longer, which is probably why I got thinking about it yesterday when I was sitting out in the nice warm trying to figure out just, getting myself kind of cleared. And I have always used the technique of self-forgiveness, and self-forgiveness really is aligning with the universal love force, bringing it inside and really forgiving yourself for being a human. As humans, we have feelings. Some of those feelings make us feel great, happy, joyous, satisfied, and can come from many different ways. But it's those feelings that don't have us feel really good, like regret, like guilt, anger, frustration, all those things. We don't want to feel that at all. And so, consequently, very often what happens is that we do not go in and forgive ourselves for having it. And so let's go a step further, like before that, and talk about self-responsibility. Being responsible for yourself 100% can be a large and onerous task at times. I used to feel really over responsible for everything. It was like it was my fault. And it really isn't sometimes. Your own feelings are yours. And yes, you need to take responsibility for your feelings because they are yours. They're telling you something. It doesn't mean it makes them wrong. In fact, the opposite. If you're in touch with how you feel, I believe it's how your body is telling you how it feels about things. And you accept that. And then you can make a decision what to do about that. But when you are over responsible, very often you take things from the outside and add that on to you like you're responsible. If you have a mate, if you have a child, you tend to feel responsible often. Not I'm saying all the time and not for everybody, but you can feel responsible for what they are feeling or what they are going through. We are really only responsible for our own feelings, but then what are the actions that we do in relations to those feelings can also be an issue. So over the years, when I had finally, it was only a few years ago, I made my sad, mad, helpless formula. And I really recognize that underneath the majority of our issues, whether we're depressed, whether we're angry, and the different aspects of that, is really because we're helpless. And nobody wants to accept that we're really helpless because, especially in depression, when you go into those depressive states and you begin to recognize and have to accept, I'm really feeling helpless. We don't want to deal with what we have to do to feel not helpless, but really the inner way is to really connect to that love source that's there for you, that supports you, that gives you strength, that gives you the fortitude very often just to accept reality as it is for you and really become clear. Now, self-forgiveness for me has been probably one of the most significant elements that I was able to utilize in my life, because when I made connection to the love force, I began to realize that by holding on to a lot of these things, and this is what I was just working through yesterday in the sunshine regarding the regret I was feeling, that I had to let it go because it separates me from being whole. It separates me from being at one with my love force, like knowing where I'm at, knowing where I'm going. And if I do that, others are going to do that. That's because we're all very, very similar. So I'm just going to suggest for the Sunday thought, take a look at your life. Where are you over responsible? Where are you under responsible? Where are you feeling any sad or mad about things? Come clear with it and begin to pause. Sometimes you have to just let it go. Other times it's really about addressing and realize that you can forgive yourself for words said, actions done, and come back into you might say, a neutral position in the beginning. No matter what, you want to be happy in your life. You want to make it work. You want to feel comfortable, complete, and all together. So that's my Sunday thought for today. I trust that you will have a wonderful day wherever you are, no matter what you're looking at, no matter what you're doing, and know that you are loved beyond measure. So allow that to breathe in, however that looks for you, knowing that all is well. So Bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock for mental mind treatments. Bye now.